SCP-106, aka the Old Man. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. No physical interaction with SCP-106 is allowed at any time. All physical interaction must be approved by no less than a 2/3 vote from O5 Command. Any interaction must be undertaken in AR2 to maximum security sites. After a general non-essential staff evacuation, all staff, research, security, Class D, etc. are to remain at least 60 meters away from the containment cell at all times, except in the event of breach events. SCP-106 is to be contained in a sealed container comprised of lead-lined steel. The container will be sealed within 40 layers of identical material, each layer separated by no less than 36 centimeters of empty space. Support struts between layers are to be randomly spaced. The container is to be remained suspended no less than 60 centimeters from any surface by ELOIID. The electromagnetic supports. Secondary containment area is to be comprised of 16 spherical cells, each filled with various fluids and random assembly surfaces and supports. Secondary containment is refitted with light systems capable of flooding the entire assembly with no less than 80,000 lumens of light, instantly with no direct human involvement. Both containment areas are to remain under 24-hour surveillance. Any corrosion should be observed on any containment cell or services, staff members, or other site locations within 200 meters of SCP-106 are to be reported to site security immediately. Any objects or personnel lost to SCP-106 are to be deemed missing or KIA. No recovery attempts are to be made under any circumstances. Note: continued research and observation have shown that when faced with highly complex random assemblies of structures, SCP-106 can be confused, showing a marked delay on entry and exit from said structure. SCP-106 has also shown to be an aversion to direct sunlight. This is not manifested in any form of physical damage, but rapid exit into the pocket dimension generated on all its surfaces. These observations, along with those of lead aversion and liquid diffusion, have reduced the general escape incidence by 43%. The primary cells have also been effective in recovery incidents, requiring recall protocol redacted. The observation is ongoing. Description: SCP-106 appears to be an elderly humanoid with a general appearance of advanced decomposition. His appearance may vary, but the rotting quality is observed in all forms. SCP-106 is not exceptionally agile and will remain motionless for days at a time, waiting for prey. SCP-106 is also capable of scaling any vertical surface and can remain suspended it upside down indefinitely. When attacking, SCP-106 will attempt to incapacitate prey by damaging major organs, muscle groups, or tendons. Then pull disabled prey into its pocket dimension. SCP-106 appears to prefer human prey items in a 10 to 25 years of age bracket. SCP-106 causes a corrosion effect in all solid matter it touches, engaging in a physical breakdown in materials several seconds after contact. This observed as rusting, rotting, and cracking of materials, and the creation of a black, mucus-like substance similar to the material coating of SCP-106. This effect is particularly detrimental to living tissues, and is assumed to be a pre-digestion action. Corrosion continues for 6 hours after contact, after which the effect appears to burn out. SCP-106 is capable of passing through solid matter, leaving behind a large patch of its corrosive mucus. SCP-106 is able to vanish inside solid matter, entering in what is assumed to be a form of pocket dimension. SCP-106 is then able to exit this dimension from any point connected to the initial entry point. Examples: entering the inner wall of a room and exiting in the outer wall. Entering a wall and exiting from the ceiling. It is unknown if this is the point of origin for SCP-106 or a simple layer created by SCP-106. Limited observation of this pocket dimension has shown it to be comprised mostly of halls and rooms, with data expunge entry. This activity can continue for days, with some subject individuals being released for the express purpose of hunting, recapture, data expunged. Addendum. SCP Review Notes. Due to the extremely difficult to contain nature of SCP-106, SCP is be reviewed every 3 months or during post-breach incident. Physical restraints are impossible, and direct physical damage appears to have no effect on SCP-106. Current SC as of redacted revolves around basic observation and immediate response. Previous more proactive special containment procedures have been recalled due to the events of breaches is redacted, and redacted. Notes on behavior. SCP-106 appears to go through long periods of dormancy, in which it will remain motionless for up to 3 months. The cause for this is unknown. However, it has been shown that this appears to be used as a lulling tactic. SCP-106 will emerge from this state in a very agitated state, and will attack an adept staff and cause gross damage to its containment cell and the site at large. Recall protocol all expunged. Data expunged. SCP-106 appears to hunt and attack based on desire, not hunger. SCP-106 will attack and collect multiple prey items, and during during a hunting and behavior event. Keeping many alive in the pocket dimension for extended periods of time. SCP-106 has no determinable limit and appears to collect like the random number of prey items during an event. Interdimension accessed by SCP-106 appears to be only accessible by SCP-106. Recording and transmission devices have been shown to still operate inside this dimension, and through recordings and transmissions are very degraded. It appears that SCP-106 will play with capture prey, and appears to have full control of time, space, and perception due inside this dimension. SCP-106 appears data expunged. Recall protocol called redacted. In the event of a breach event by SCP-106, a human within the 10 to 25 years of age bracket will be prepped for recall. With the comprised containment cell being replaced and stored for use. When the cell is ready, the lure subject will be injured, probably the breakage of a long bone, such as the femur, or the severing of a major tendon, such as the Achilles tendon. Lure subject will then be placed in the cell, and the sound emitted by said subject will be transmitted over by the site public address system. SCP-106 will typically begin to gravitate toward the lure subject within 10 to 15 minutes after hearing the subject. Should SCP-106 not respond to the initial broadcast, additional physical trauma will be administered to the lure subject at 20-minute intervals until SCP-106 responds. Multiple lure subjects may be used in the case of a major breach events. SCP-106 will typically enter a dormant state after finishing a lure subject. In addition, subjects may data expunge.